Have you ever dreamed of traveling the world after retirement, exploring new places, and making unforgettable memories? Traveling after the age of 70 can be an incredible experience, but it also comes with hidden risks that many seniors overlook until it is too late. What starts as a dream vacation can quickly turn into a stressful and even dangerous situation if you are not fully prepared. In today's video, we are going to reveal 5 major risks that seniors face when traveling. These are not just minor inconveniences. They can have serious consequences for your health, safety, and finances. And the final risk on our list is something that most travelers never think about, but it could end up costing you thousands of dollars. So if you want to travel with confidence, avoid unexpected problems, and truly enjoy your adventures, stay with us until the end. Also, if you find this information helpful, let us know by leaving a comment saying, "I am ready." Now, let's get started. Risk 1. Health emergencies and medical complications. Traveling is one of life's greatest joys. But after 70, even a minor health issue can quickly turn into a serious emergency. The reality is that as we age, our bodies respond differently to stress, climate changes, and physical exertion. What once felt like an easy trip can suddenly become exhausting, and conditions that seem manageable at home can escalate unexpectedly while traveling. One of the biggest health risks for senior travelers is deep vein thrombosis, or DVT. This occurs when a blood clot forms in the legs after long periods of sitting, such as on a plane or a long bus ride. If that clot moves to the lungs, it can cause a pulmonary embolism, which is life-threatening. Unfortunately, many people do not realize they have DVT until they experience symptoms like swelling, leg pain, or shortness of breath, often when it is already serious. Another risk comes from altitude and climate changes. Air travel exposes your body to lower oxygen levels and dry cabin air, which can make breathing difficult, especially for those with heart or lung conditions. If you have high blood pressure, diabetes, or respiratory issues, flying can put extra strain on your body. Similarly, traveling to high-altitude locations such as mountainous areas can cause dizziness, headaches, and even oxygen deprivation. But the biggest challenge of all is access to medical care. At home, if you feel unwell, you know exactly where to go. Your local doctor, your trusted pharmacy, and a nearby hospital covered by your insurance. But when you are in a foreign country or a remote location, getting medical treatment is not as simple. Some hospitals do not have modern equipment, and in many places, doctors do not speak English. Even worse, many seniors assume their regular health insurance will cover them abroad, but most domestic plans do not include international medical emergencies. That means a sudden illness or injury could result in a hospital bill costing tens of thousands of dollars. Now, imagine this. James, a 74-year-old retiree, booked a dream Caribbean cruise with his wife. He was in good health, active, and excited about the trip. But just 4 days into the cruise, after a day in the sun, James began to feel a sharp pain in his chest. At first, he dismissed it as heartburn, but when the pain spread to his arm and he started sweating profusely, he knew something was wrong. His wife rushed him to the ship's medical center, but the onboard doctors did not have the equipment to properly diagnose a heart attack. They called for an emergency helicopter evacuation, but due to weather delays, James had to wait hours before reaching a hospital. He survived, but instead of enjoying his vacation, he spent the rest of the trip recovering and received a hospital bill that exceeded $20,000. How to stay safe? Schedule a full medical checkup before traveling to make sure you are fit for your trip. Bring extra medication in case of delays and keep a list of your prescriptions and medical history. Move around frequently during flights to reduce the risk of blood clots. Stand up, stretch, and walk every hour. Research hospitals at your destination so you know where to go in an emergency. Purchase travel insurance that covers medical emergencies, hospital stays, and medical evacuations. Being prepared can make all the difference between a smooth trip and a medical crisis. Have you ever experienced a health scare while traveling? Share your story in the comments below. Now let's move on to the next risk. Risk 2. Exposure to infections and contaminants. Traveling opens the door to new experiences, but it also exposes you to countless germs, viruses, and bacteria, especially in crowded places like airports, airplanes, hotels, and public transportation. For younger travelers, a mild cold or stomach bug might be a minor inconvenience, but for seniors, an infection can lead to serious complications, prolonged illness, and even hospitalization. As we age, our immune system naturally weakens, making it harder to fight off infections. This process, known as immunosenescence, means that a simple flu or foodborne illness can last longer and have more severe consequences than it would for a younger person. Respiratory illnesses in particular pose a serious threat. Research shows that seniors are more vulnerable to pneumonia and other lung infections, especially when exposed to unfamiliar viruses. The hidden dangers of air travel. One of the riskiest places for exposure to germs is inside an airplane. Passengers sit in close quarters for hours, breathing recirculated air. Studies have shown that the risk of catching a cold or respiratory infection increases significantly on flights due to poor air circulation and the large number of international travelers bringing in different strains of viruses. Beyond airborne germs, contaminated surfaces are everywhere. Tray tables, seatbelt buckles, bathroom handles, and even in-flight magazines. Most airlines do a basic cleaning between flights, but deep cleaning is rare. This means you could be touching surfaces that hundreds of passengers have touched before you. Food and water contamination. Another major risk while traveling is foodborne illness. Exploring new cuisines is one of the best parts of traveling, but unfamiliar foods, different cooking methods, and lower hygiene standards can lead to food poisoning. Many seniors have more sensitive digestive systems, making it harder to recover from food-related illnesses. Drinking water is also a hidden danger. Tap water in many countries contains bacteria and parasites that may be harmless to locals but can cause severe illness for travelers. Even ice cubes made from tap water can lead to stomach infections. Now, imagine this. Linda, a 76-year-old woman, had always dreamed of visiting Southeast Asia. She loved trying new foods and was excited to taste authentic street food. On her second day in Thailand, she ate a fresh salad from a food stall and drank a juice with ice. Within 24 hours, she developed severe stomach cramps, vomiting, and dehydration. She was rushed to a local clinic where doctors diagnosed her with bacterial gastroenteritis, a serious infection caused by contaminated food. She spent the next 4 days recovering in a foreign hospital, missing most of her planned trip. How to stay safe. Wear a high-quality mask in crowded areas like airports, buses, and tourist attractions to reduce exposure to airborne germs. Wash your hands frequently with soap and carry hand sanitizer for when sinks are unavailable. Avoid touching your face after being in public spaces to prevent bacteria from entering your system. Stick to bottled or purified water, even for brushing your teeth, and avoid drinks with ice made from tap water. Be cautious with food choices. Avoid raw or undercooked foods and choose restaurants with good hygiene ratings. Bring travel-friendly medications, including anti-diarrheal pills, probiotics, and electrolyte packets in case of food-related illnesses. A little preparation goes a long way in preventing infections and ensuring a smooth trip. Have you ever gotten sick while traveling? Let us know in the comments. Now, let's move on to the next risk. Risk 3. Travel, fatigue, and recovery challenges. Traveling is supposed to be an enjoyable experience, but for many seniors, it can quickly become exhausting. Long flights, early morning departures, crowded airports, and busy sightseeing schedules can take a toll on the body. Unlike younger travelers who can bounce back after a good night's sleep, seniors often take longer to recover from fatigue, and prolonged exhaustion can lead to weakened immunity, confusion, and a higher risk of illness or injury. One of the biggest causes of travel fatigue is disrupted sleep. Sleeping in an unfamiliar hotel bed, dealing with noisy surroundings, or adjusting to a different time zone can make it difficult to get proper rest. Jet lag, especially when traveling across multiple time zones, can throw off your body's internal clock for days or even weeks, leading to poor concentration, irritability, and difficulty enjoying your trip. Another major factor is physical strain. Many people underestimate how much walking, standing, and navigating new environments can wear them out. Museums, historic sites, and guided tours often require long periods of standing or walking on uneven surfaces. For those with arthritis, back pain, or mobility issues, this can quickly lead to soreness, swelling, and even an increased risk of falls. The hidden toll of exhaustion. Imagine this. Richard, a 75-year-old retiree, had always wanted to visit Europe. He and his wife planned a 2-week tour covering 6 cities, excited to see as much as possible. However, the trip involved multiple flights, train rides, and hours of sightseeing each day. By the 3rd day, Richard was completely exhausted. His legs ached from walking on cobblestone streets, his back hurt from carrying luggage, and he found himself too tired to enjoy the sights. Halfway through the trip, he caught a cold, which worsened due to lack of rest. By the time he adjusted to the time zone, it was already time to return home. Instead of feeling refreshed, he spent the next month recovering from his vacation. How to stay safe and energized. Plan a slower itinerary with fewer destinations and more rest days in between activities. Book comfortable accommodations in quieter areas to ensure better sleep. Schedule flights and transportation at reasonable hours to avoid early morning departures and late night arrivals. Stay hydrated and eat nutritious meals to maintain energy levels. Wear comfortable, supportive shoes to reduce foot and joint pain. Take short naps when needed, especially if adjusting to a new time zone. Travel should be enjoyable, not exhausting. Have you ever felt completely drained after a trip? Share your experience in the comments below. Now let's move on to the next risk. Risk 4, higher risk of falls and injuries. As we age, our balance, reflexes, and muscle strength naturally decline, making falls one of the most serious risks for senior travelers. A small misstep that might have been minor in younger years can lead to fractures, sprains, or even long-term mobility issues. When traveling, unfamiliar environments such as uneven sidewalks, steep staircases, and slippery hotel floors increase the likelihood of accidents. Many popular travel destinations, especially historic cities, have cobblestone streets, poorly lit alleyways, or buildings without elevators. Tourist sites like castles, ancient ruins, and scenic hiking trails often lack proper handrails or smooth walkways, making navigation even riskier. Cruise ships, while convenient, also pose hazards with moving floors, wet decks, and narrow hallways. Fatigue also plays a big role. When the body is tired, balance and coordination suffer, increasing the chance of a fall. Seniors with arthritis, osteoporosis, or mobility issues are at an even greater risk. And unlike at home, where medical help is just a phone call away, getting proper treatment in a foreign country can be delayed or complicated. The real dangers of a fall while traveling. Imagine this. Linda, a 78-year-old woman, had always enjoyed walking around her neighborhood without any problems. When she traveled to Italy, she was excited to explore the charming streets of Florence. But on her second evening, as she walked down a dimly lit alley, she misjudged a curb and fell hard onto the cobblestone pavement. She immediately felt a sharp pain in her hip. Bystanders helped her up, but she could not walk without assistance. She was taken to a local hospital where x-rays revealed a hip fracture. Linda had to cut her trip short, undergo emergency surgery in a foreign country, and spend months recovering when she returned home. A trip she had dreamed about for years turned into a painful, expensive ordeal that permanently affected her mobility. How to stay safe and prevent falls. Choose travel destinations with good accessibility. Look for hotels with elevators, ramps, and smooth walkways. Wear sturdy, supportive shoes with non-slip soles to improve stability. Be mindful of your energy levels. Fatigue increases the risk of falling, so take breaks and avoid overexertion. Use a walking aid if necessary. A collapsible cane or walking stick can provide extra stability. Stay in well-lit areas and watch your step. Avoid walking in poorly lit streets or unfamiliar areas at night. Consider travel insurance that covers injuries and emergency medical treatment. A single fall can have long-lasting consequences, but with the right precautions, you can stay safe and enjoy your travels. Have you ever experienced a close call or fall while traveling? Share your story in the comments. Now let's move on to the final risk. Risk 5. Financial risks and travel insurance gaps. When planning a trip, most people think about flights, hotels, and activities, but few consider the hidden financial risks that can turn an exciting vacation into a costly disaster. Medical emergencies, trip cancellations, lost luggage, or travel scams can lead to unexpected expenses that drain your savings. Without the right protections in place, what should have been a relaxing getaway can quickly become one of the most expensive mistakes of your life. For seniors, these risks are even greater. As we age, health becomes less predictable. The likelihood of trip disruptions increases, and scammers often see older travelers as easy targets. That is why understanding the financial side of travel risks is just as important as planning your itinerary. Medical bills abroad, a shocking reality. One of the most expensive mistakes a traveler can make is assuming that their health insurance will cover them internationally. Many seniors believe that their Medicare plan or private insurance will take care of any medical issues that arise while traveling. Unfortunately, this is rarely the case. For example, Medicare does not cover medical expenses outside the United States, except in very limited circumstances. Some Medicare supplement plans offer partial coverage, but it is often not enough to handle serious medical emergencies. Private health insurance policies may also exclude international coverage, leaving travelers responsible for the full cost of medical treatment abroad. This can be financially devastating. Consider these real-world costs. A hospital stay in Europe can cost between $5,000 and $20,000, depending on the country and the length of stay. A medical evacuation, such as an air ambulance transporting you back home, can cost $50,000 to $200,000, depending on the distance and level of care required. Even simple treatments, such as a broken bone or an infection requiring antibiotics, can cost thousands without insurance. The nightmare of trip cancellations. Seniors often plan their trips months, sometimes even a year, in advance. But life is unpredictable. A sudden illness, a fall at home, or even a family emergency could force you to cancel your plans at the last minute. The problem? Many travel providers have strict cancellation policies. Airlines may charge hefty fees for changing your flight or offer only partial refunds. Hotels and cruise lines often have non-refundable deposits, and guided tours may require full payment up front with no refunds for cancellations. Even if you have a valid reason, travel providers do not always make exceptions. Many seniors lose thousands of dollars on trips they never even take because they did not have proper trip cancellation insurance. Scams that target senior travelers. Scammers are always looking for new ways to take advantage of tourists, and unfortunately, older travelers are often seen as easy targets. Whether it is a fake hotel listing, an overpriced taxi ride, or a sophisticated online scam, criminals prey on the trust and unfamiliarity of visitors. Some of the most common travel scams include fake vacation rentals. Scammers create fake listings for apartments or hotels that do not exist. Travelers book in advance, send money, and arrive to find that they have been scammed. Credit card fraud. Some criminals install fake ATM machines or card skimmers in high-traffic areas. Unsuspecting tourists withdraw cash only to have their bank accounts drained. Overpriced taxi rides. In many tourist destinations, drivers overcharge visitors by taking long, unnecessary routes or pretending the meter is broken. Free gifts and services. Tourists are often approached by people offering free bracelets, roses, or guided tours, only to be aggressively pressured into paying an outrageous fee afterward. The story of George and the fake hotel. George, a 76-year-old retiree, had spent months planning a dream vacation to a tropical destination. He found what seemed like the perfect beachfront hotel through an online travel site. The photos looked beautiful, the price was reasonable, and the listing had several positive reviews. Wanting to secure his spot, George paid for a non-refundable one-week stay in advance. When he arrived at his destination, he was shocked to discover the hotel did not exist. The address led him to an abandoned building, and the customer service number he was given no longer worked. The website where he made the booking had disappeared overnight. With nowhere to stay, George had to scramble to find a last-minute hotel, which was twice as expensive as his original booking. His dream trip started with stress, frustration, and a significant financial loss. Unfortunately, George's story is not unique. Fake travel listings and scams have increased dramatically in recent years, costing travelers millions of dollars worldwide. How to protect yourself from financial risks. Get comprehensive travel insurance. Look for a policy that covers medical emergencies, trip cancellations, lost luggage, and emergency evacuations. Check your health insurance policy. If your current plan does not cover international travel, consider purchasing supplemental travel health insurance. Book through trusted sources. Use well-known, reputable websites like Booking.com, Expedia, or direct hotel websites. Avoid deals that seem too good to be true. Use credit cards with fraud protection. Many credit cards offer built-in travel insurance and fraud monitoring that can help protect your money. Limit cash withdrawals and use secure ATMs. Be wary of standalone ATMs in tourist areas, as these are more likely to be tampered with. Be cautious of unsolicited offers. If someone approaches you with a too-good-to-be-true deal, it is probably a scam. Travel smart, stay safe, and enjoy traveling. After 70 is not just about seeing new places. It is about making memories, experiencing different cultures, and enjoying the freedom you have worked so hard for. But as we have discussed, traveling at this stage of life comes with unique risks that should not be ignored. From health emergencies and infections to exhaustion, injuries, and financial scams. Being unprepared can turn an exciting trip into a stressful or even dangerous experience. However, the good news is that these risks can be managed with the right precautions. By planning ahead, understanding your physical limits, and protecting yourself financially, you can travel with confidence and peace of mind. So before your next adventure, take the time to get a full medical checkup and pack all necessary medications. Invest in comprehensive travel insurance to cover medical emergencies and cancellations. Plan a slower, more comfortable itinerary with plenty of time to rest. Stay alert to scams and book only through reputable sources. Keep safety a priority by choosing accessible, senior-friendly destinations. Remember, travel should be enjoyable, not exhausting. The key is not to stop exploring, but to explore wisely. Now, we would love to hear from you. What is the most important lesson you learned from today's video? Have you ever faced an unexpected challenge while traveling? Share your experience in the comments below. If you found this information helpful, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so you never miss our latest tips for smart and safe senior living. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Safe travels!